In this video, we're going to apply texture to our two walls. I'll start by shift selecting the surfaces, clicking on Delete by Type History, and Freeze Transforms. Next, I'll right-click and assign a new material, Arnold AI Standard Surface. I'll name the node, and under Base, I'll follow the color slider bar to the far right where the checkerboard is. I'll click on it and click on checker. You'll see the checkerboard pattern on both surfaces in some capacity. We're going to be using planar mapping to control the exact proportions of the UV map we will be generating. I'll select one of the walls, hitting W. I'll hold down my space bar and I'll go to UVs, planar mapping attributes. On this particular wall, the z-axis is perpendicular to the surface, so I'm going to choose z-axis and project. The checkerboard pattern is not perfect, it's distorted. I'll immediately go to my channel box, and in the channel box I'll change projection width and height to the same number. Now if I were to go to my UV editor, I'll see the UV map that is proportional to the geometry. I'll return to the object mode for this wall and select the other one. Hitting W, I'll hold down the space bar, I'll go to UV planar mapping, attributes, and I'll change this to X, and I'll hit project. Going to the channel box once again, I'll make the projection width and height the same number, and now I see the UV map for that wall. Returning to the object mode, in my viewport, I'll shift select both surfaces. I'll put on the checkerboard pattern. Next, I'm going to go to Image, UV Snapshot. You have to make sure that you're in your object mode for your geometry for this part of the process. If there's any blue lines, then you are in the editing mode and you won't be able to generate the UV snapshot. I'll name it and direct it to where I'd like it to go. I've chosen the image format as a PNG. The size is 1024 by 1024 and the edge color is black. I'll click on Apply and Close. Next, we'll bring the UV maps into Photoshop and put the textures on. I've opened up my texture and my UV map inside of Photoshop, and now I'm going to copy and paste the pattern I want to use into the UV map. Command A or Control A, Command C or Control C. I'll go to the UV map and I'll paste it in. I'll hit Command T to transform it, and once I've scaled to the scale I want, I'm going to make a selection of it and then generate a pattern. Hitting M on the keyboard, I'll take my rectangle marquee, I'll make a selection of the pattern, I'll go to Edit, Define Pattern, clicking OK, I'll deselect, I'll put a new layer in, and then I'll go to Edit Fill, I'll change it to Patterns, click on Custom Patterns, and I'll scroll down in the last entry will be the one I'm looking for. I'll put it underneath the UV map, which is Layer 1, turning off the UV map, I'll save it as a PSD, and next we'll return to Maya. In Maya, I'll select one of my wall surfaces, right-clicking, I'll choose Material Attributes. I'm going to right-click directly on the word Color under Base and choose Break Connection. The walls will go gray. I'll go back out to the little checkerboard pattern and back to the Create Render node, but this time I'll click on the term File. Over where image name appears, I'll click on the little folder and I'll navigate out to my texture. And now we've applied our wall texture. If I was to go into the UV editor now with one of the surfaces selected, I'll see the texture itself. Because I filled this whole square area with the pattern, I also have the option to go to the UV shell. And if I right-click in UV shell and hit R on the keyboard, I can now scale it smaller or larger if I want to change the size of the pattern.